So, those of us who are on the healing journey, I find it starts because we either get to this breaking point where we can't keep doing the same thing. We can't keep being in the pain. We can't keep playing out these same patterns and these cycles. It's just gotten to that breaking point where something has to change. And it usually takes us to get to a level of pain to really push us forth, to really awaken us to, I have to find a solution here. I can't keep living like this. Another way is like we've got this really big desire, this big dream, this big vision for ourselves, for our lives, and the impact that we desire to have. And we realize that in order to get to that vision, in order to get to that dream, we have to actually start dealing with whatever it is that is preventing us from getting there. So it's usually one of these, and sometimes both. I have definitely found it's been both for me, being at a really, really low place of like, I can't keep living like this, but then also having just huge dreams that were just like beyond what I could even believe that was possible. But there was something in me that was like, but what if? And I just saw this big, big vision for myself, and I just so wanted it. And I found on some level that big dream was coming from that place of, I need to prove something. I need to prove my good enoughness. So if you've been listening to me for a little while, you know that a big part of my journey has been unraveling this core operating system of I am not enough. And so a lot of what I desired, a lot of the work that I've been doing, a lot of it, it started with this very core belief of I am not enough. And it was really, really powerful because it really got me to push forwards and to start exploring and discovering new things and really finding myself and really starting to integrate the wounds that initially created this. And what I want to chat about today and really delve into is the inner child healing and integration. So this is something that I support my clients and students with on such a deep level. It's something that comes up for everyone that I work with. I feel like we all have these inner children. I don't believe it's just one inner child. I think there are multiple for each of us. And these inner children, it doesn't have to be a huge, big, traumatic external event that they experienced that created this wound, that created the belief system, that created the inner child. It can be something that when you think about it today, it seems like, oh, it's not actually that big a deal. Why is this bothering me? But for the inner child, it's not necessarily what happened to them. It's not really about the external experience. It's what we made it mean about ourselves. It's how we internalized it, the message that we received, like, I'm not enough, I'm too much, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not this, or I'm shameful, I'm wrong, there's something wrong with me, there's something inherently bad about me. My emotions aren't safe to feel. It's not okay to express myself. It's not okay to be myself. I got to wear all these masks. I got to give everything. I got to people please and just give and give and give in order to receive the love, the acceptance, and the belonging that I require. So we all have these core needs and desires to feel loved, to feel accepted, and to belong. We thrive in community. We are tribal beings, but so many of us have all these different woundings and beliefs that will prevent us from showing up as our full authentic self, where we can actually experience that deep sense of belonging and community, where we can actually feel safe to open our heart and let people in. So if we're carrying a lot of these wounds and unintegrated children inside of ourselves, it can be really hard, if not impossible, to thrive in life, in our relationships, in business, in work, in our career, in starting your own business, in putting yourself out there, in expressing yourself, setting boundaries. It can cause a lot of conflict and disharmony in different relationships and family dynamics. And it's just such a huge realm. There's so much in this. There's so many strands, so many layers, and it's really mind-blowing when I support clients in going through these layers, the parts of us that surface and come forth where like, I didn't even know I was holding on to that. I didn't even know how huge this was for me and how it's really been affecting my life. And so it's really going into that exploration around what is the inner child holding on to and what do they need to feel supported, safe, and loved, where they can actually let go of the reins and hand that responsibility of thriving in life and thriving in your relationships back to you. Because what's happening when we're self-sabotaging, when we are protecting, going into coping mechanisms, and these belief systems are coming up, we're beating ourselves up, we've got all these patterns that we're trying to get rid of. But if the inner child doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel supported, doesn't feel loved, it's not going to let go. It's just going to keep holding on to those patterns. And often we're like, oh, I thought I dealt with this. Why is this coming back up? Why can't I let this go? Why can't I stop doing this thing that I know isn't serving me? Why can't I get rid of this belief? Why can't I stop beating myself up? Why can't I just have this beautiful life, this relationship, this thing that I truly desire? Why? And so if there is an inner child in you that has been doing something like this to protect you from further pain, from abandonment, from rejection, from like trying to create a sense of belonging or some sense of safety, it does these protective mechanisms for that exact reason, to protect. And if you're trying to get rid of its protective mechanism without first creating inner safety and safety for that inner child, how do you expect them to let that go? They're going to jump in the driver's seat anytime you get triggered, anytime there's a red flag or something it perceives as a threat, because it's still buried in the body, in the psyche. So what happens when we're getting triggered is something like fires up. There's an alert system in the oldest part of our brain, the reptilian brain. And so our survival response starts going off anytime it perceives a threat. So something that resembles something similar from a past emotional experience that is unresolved. And so what we need to do is heal and integrate that wound and support that inner child in coming home, in feeling safe, in feeling seen, in feeling supported, reassured. And we do this by first uncovering what's actually going on, connecting to that inner child and being like, hey, I see you, I'm here with you, rather than wronging and shaming ourselves like, oh, you're doing that again. Why are you doing that? Oh, this is like, you're self-sabotaging, like you're doing this. And we start to judge ourselves and wrong ourselves for our natural survival instincts kicking in. These inner children that are afraid and acting out and screaming out to be seen, to be heard, to be supported. It is not a child's responsibility to protect you. But if it's been doing that for years or decades, from a place where it just felt so incredibly unsafe in a past emotional experience, it's like it got frozen in time. And because it's frozen in time, it's still thinking that it needs to protect. It doesn't realize who you are in this present day self. It doesn't realize that you have grown up and that you actually are capable of protecting yourself in new, empowering, supportive, healthy ways. And so instantly you get triggered, inner child jumps into the driver's seat, I gotta protect. And then we go into shame and judging and self-criticism and like, why did I do that? Overreaction, la-di-da. And so then we just go into more suppressing, numbing, distracting, and it's just this never-ending cycle. And we're like, why can't I get out of this? And if you want to shift these recurring patterns, if you want to release these limiting beliefs, if you want to thrive in your life and in your relationships, you must meet these inner children with love, with kindness, with compassion, saying, hey, how can I support you? How can I be here for you? We must rebuild those relationships to those inner children because they don't trust you to take care of them because you haven't been. And when they, in this past emotional experience that they're like frozen in that time, the adults around them weren't supporting them, weren't keeping them safe, and that's why they created these protective mechanisms. So now it can create like adults aren't trustworthy. I can't really trust in the adult or in you to protect me and to love me, to see me. And so it's holding on in the reins. It's like in such deep contraction. And so what you'll need to do is start to rebuild that relationship with your inner child, to let them know, I'm here now, I see you, it's okay to feel these things, I'm with you. And so the way that I support my clients with this is actually through somatic experiencing and breath work practices, self-inquiry, compassionate curiosity, really going within and discovering, where is this inner child living inside of your body? What are they holding on to? What are they afraid of? What do they need? And I support you through a deep process to integrate these inner children so that they feel safe and they no longer feel like they have to take this responsibility and carry this heavy burden, because it's a heavy burden for any child to feel like they have to protect or be someone else or do these different things because they don't feel safe. It's a really intense experience to be, and we wouldn't wish that upon any child. So why are we wishing it upon ourselves? And what we want to do is we want to take that responsibility for them, and we want to give it to a part of ourselves that is actually really empowered and strong and capable of taking on this responsibility, not as a heavy burden, but as, I'm capable, I was born for this, I can do this, I can support you, I want to take this responsibility, and will actually thrive in taking on that responsibility. A lot of us, our empowered self, our strong, supportive pieces have been dormant for some time. They've been hidden for a long time because the inner child has been running the show. And maybe we've been numbing out and coping and just kind of going through the motions. But if we can start to meet our inner children with love and compassion and start to support them in healing those wounds and coming back into the present, integrating into wholeness, and then connecting to the empowered self to really support you in feeling safe, feeling supported, and moving towards your goals, creating this life that you truly desire for yourself, finding your voice, expressing yourself, setting boundaries, all these beautiful things from a place of groundedness and strength and capability. So it is quite a journey because, as I said, many of us have many inner children inside from different ages, from different times in life, holding on to different wounds and different beliefs. And some of these wounds are really, really deep and really, really painful, and there's a lot of emotion. And so we really want to make sure that we're feeling safe and supported and held through this process. So if you feel like there is a lot here for you, I highly recommend getting support as you navigate this, finding a trauma-informed coach, mentor, or therapist that really can support you in healing the inner children. Really, really important. Some of the wounds you'll find as you start to delve more deeply into this work and find new practices that work for you. Even meditation is a really powerful practice. Breath work is a really powerful practice. You'll find that some of these inner children you can actually really support and integrate on your own. But there are going to be some of those deeper, thicker layers that are going to require support. We weren't designed to do this journey alone. We are tribal beings. We thrive in community. We thrive when we receive support. And something that you can start with, which is really, really powerful, is actually to just start connecting with your inner child through intention every day. So going into a meditation, maybe just closing down your eyes, taking some deep breaths, and then just having an intention, like, I'm here to connect with my inner child. If there is an inner child that is present and ready to come forth, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm open to meet you, I'm open to connect with you. Maybe it's having a conversation or some inner dialogue with this inner child and just letting them know, hey, I feel you, I see you, I get why you're doing this pattern or this coping mechanism, I so get it. And it's not from a place of trying to get rid of anything or trying to force this inner child to do what you want it to do. It's coming from compassion and understanding of, I so get it, and I'm here with you. And the more you do this, the more your inner child is going to trust you. So when you start to want to have that conversation around shifting the pattern, shifting the way that we respond to situations, shifting the way that we show up in our relationships, in conversation with others, in different situations, we'll have more rapport with that inner child, and they're going to be more willing and open to listening and shifting how we navigate these different situations in life. So I hope you received something from this conversation today. If you would like to explore this inner child work more deeply, feel free to reach out. You can email me at info@moniquecarmela.com, and I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you and speak more deeply to this topic. It is something that I'm so passionate about, and it's something that has really shifted a lot in my life by meeting, integrating, healing these inner children, bringing them home. I really feel like it is our duty to go and get these children and bring them home. Many of these inner children are waiting, desperately waiting for the original caregiver to meet those needs. But that is just not going to happen. And even if we hear the words from that original caregiver that we've wanted to hear, even if they were to apologize or meet us with love in this moment, it's not going to really complete that cycle for your inner child. What the inner child needs now is you. They need you to show up for them. They need you, and for you to build that relationship with them. They need that home inside of you. It is now your duty to go and get them, to bring them home, and to support them in their journey back to wholeness, back to authenticity. And so if you would like to explore this more deeply, feel free to reach out. I'm sending you so much love on your journey and thanking you for being here. In my signature program, The Sacred Art of Loving Yourself, we delve much, much deeper into all of this and so much more. So I'll pop a link below for you to check out what's involved and see if it's the container that's for you, if it's resonating for you, if you're ready to delve more deeply into this work together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time.